What's happening, everybody? Zach here. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, excuse me, we are going to talk about stable coins potentially being regulated. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it going to happen? I think it is basically inevitable, in my opinion, at this point, that there's going to be some big changes coming for cryptocurrency. Now, I think a lot of good can come from this because, in a lot of ways, it's legitimizing the activity. The government is realizing that, hey, we're not going to stop this. It's happening. What can we do in order to help people along in this journey? And stablecoin regulation, I think, is going to be one of the first steps in doing so. So in this video, we're going to talk about stablecoin regulation from multiple angles, talk about a few different articles and how they've covered it, what's going on, what we can expect here in the future in terms of stablecoin regulation. If at any time you get some value, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. As always, appreciate you stopping back, and if you're new here, hopefully you do get some value. Subscribe. We'd love to have you join us. Also, if you want to join us right here on YouTube, click this join button right here, and you can watch a short video about what it means to be a member right here on the channel. So let's pop into Twitter real quick because they've got some interesting conversations going on right now about the current state of crypto as it relates to stablecoin regulation. So this says the nation's top regulators acknowledge the potential for stablecoins to be a useful means of payment, however, advocated for setting up guardrails to protect stablecoin users for the financial system. Noted here, most stablecoins run on the Ethereum network. This was an article done by Yahoo not too long ago. And if we scroll down here, there was a good conversation here. The main drivers I look at when no, not that. Here we go. Stablecoins are an obvious example of PMF, and with regulation on the horizon, a truly decentralized, censorship-resistant stablecoin has never been more important. So this is talking about product market fit there, PMF. But so there's some good and bad here. So let's scroll down here, and here's Cardano apps. We have the technology now. We need to change regulation for stablecoins and any other cryptocurrency to be accepted to any merchants around the world. So Cardano pushing for some type of regulation because they want their projects to be legitimized. Here's Kevin Werbucks. He's a very tech-heavy blockchain enthusiast. We need to consider regulation of stablecoins because of the threats they pose to financial stability, as well as their potential and likely reality to promote fraud, circumvention of law, and manipulation of the cryptocurrency market. The Gorton and Zong paper suggests 4 options for stablecoin regulation. They can enforce the prohibition on non-bank deposit taking. FSOC declares them a systematically important payment activity, would be number 2. Congress makes them have some kind of banking license, number 3, or crowd out with a CBDC and taxes. So how they're going to go about this, we don't know, right? But the major takeaway, or one of the major takeaways here, is that part of the growth process for stablecoins and crypto is probably going to be some form of regulation. We also know that institutional money is what drives the market upwards, right? That kind of money coming in to cryptocurrency is what caused Bitcoin to spike the way it did. So from that standpoint, some form of regulation will be good because institutions will now have, that peace of mind, if you will, to invest more. So this is a really good article done by CoinDesk. State of crypto, stablecoin rules are coming. They also talk about some Bitcoin ETF stuff in here and also what's going on with Binance. So I want to focus in on this for a little bit and fill you in on this. And I know a lot of people out there, I'm listening to some of my listeners/watchers here on YouTube. I know a lot of people listen into the car, so I appreciate everybody who has said some kind words, and they kind of treat this channel as kind of a news channel, and they just listen to the audio only. So appreciate you all out there. Everyone in crypto seems to be talking about stablecoins these days, and regulators are no exception. We're going to see even more conversation about them in the coming weeks. We do have that July 28th deadline that was set by Elizabeth Warren. We'll see if anything comes to fruition there in terms of that deadline. Possible regulations could also mitigate the threat that stablecoins pose a systematic risk to the financial system, or they could just make the situation worse. So this is really what's up for debate here. What are the outcomes of making stablecoins more regulated? So yesterday, the President's Working Group of Financial Markets convened to discuss stablecoins, marking the first publicly announced meeting of this group of regulators since Joe Biden took office earlier this year. This happened a few days ago here in the United States. Others have advocated for securities-focused framework where stablecoins, or at least stablecoins backed by multiple assets, are regulated as securities. Of course, we're seeing certain verbiage that dictates if something's regulated or at least listed or labeled a security or not, right? Even that alone is very much up for debate right now in the crypto space. Okay. Now, Representative Warren Davidson, Republican out of Ohio, says, I think you could easily craft a stablecoin that meets a test that says, no, this is not a security, he said. But on the other side, if you've got a stablecoin that is essentially backed by securities, it gets hard to say that it's not a security. Okay, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell also noted the risk may come from commercial paper backing stablecoins such as Tether, as during a financial crisis the market might dry up. Now, so there's all that on stablecoins. How does Binance, how are they involved with all of the goings on here? So very recently, and we've seen a lot of issues happening in Europe, people closing their Binance accounts, or Binance closing accounts in Europe. Since then, Italy's Federal Reserve and Lithuania's central bank have said the exchange cannot provide investment services within their borders. Then Hong Kong did something similar, as well as Brazil. And the list just keeps going on for Binance. So what is going on? It means that Binance and its executives may be the only people fully aware of what regulators are actually looking at, because whatever Binance is doing, which is the biggest exchange out there in the world, they are cracking down on Binance. Okay, Binance's own actions will also be an important signal of any further warnings or enforcement actions. And this was Binance CEO CZ tweeted on Sunday, a new chapter awaits us, this was this past Sunday, as we embrace compliance and regulations. So what's going on, we don't exactly know. We don't really have that information. Shout out to Nut, because him and I were kind of talking about this back and forth in our private Discord. But something fishy could be going on with Binance. Just too many articles out there, too many countries now just stopping payments altogether. So one last thing I wanted to touch on, wrapped up into the stablecoin conversation as well as the Binance conversation, Bitcoin ETFs. Bitcoin ETFs could be a really big positive that comes out of more regulation in crypto, right? So far, all of the ETFs that have been pushed forward by people have been pushed back upon by the government agencies and the regulators. However, if there's more regulation, I think a Bitcoin ETF could come to light, and I think that would be huge for crypto. So, with all of that said, hopefully you got some value here. And one last thing here, the Motley Fool also covered this as well. They say stablecoins, cryptocurrencies pegged to the value of other digital coins, fiat money, or exchange-traded commodities are causing much consternation in Washington. Nearly half of all Bitcoin trading, this is the line I wanted to talk about, nearly half of all Bitcoin trading is done with a stablecoin Tether, which there's been some interesting information out there on Tether, and I think there's some crackdowns coming there as well. So one last thing also before we get out, so come on over to our Patreon page. We've got our private community working over there, and we'd love to have you over there. You can actually find that right here up in the bio, little Patreon logo there, or it'll be down in the description as well. Come on over, join our private community. We've got over 50 insiders now having conversations all day, every day about crypto. So if you want to be on the inside of those conversations, come on over and join us. All right, I'll see you in the next one.